Friendly greetings with eyes closed. This is Torley, being very nostalgic. Welcome to a lovely bit of one of my mornings. I want to show you Cathode, but first I wanted to preface it with why I'm doing this. I'm an often nostalgic person, as non-sentimental as I may be about other things, physical goods, for instance, unless we're necessary to complete the task at hand. And I often think, like this morning, I was chatting with my brother Zephos, and discussing old video games we used to play. I talked to him about old AOL client software when it was version 3 or 4. Used to run that on a very early Mac, and things have springboarded ahead so far. Through various series of links, I came across Cathode, and I thought, wow, I was watching that 80s episode of Fringe recently, and it's funny how they strove to get the old Betamax effects. I don't think that particular episode they executed that finally. However, for the purposes of me showing you this, you can just check it out. Curiously enough, when you go to the root, there is no page there. Isn't that weird? Just site index placeholder. But this is what they're offering. They should have a video because you really need to see this in motion. Let me boot it up. You will literally see it boot up like that. So it's meant to be a substitute for the regular terminal.app. And you will notice right away, let me enlarge this actually. Let me make it bigified. See how cool that can be. Whoa, let's make it larger still. Dun, dun. So pretty neat right there. And the letters, you have the cursor, the ghosting, some of the artifacts. You can even see there's a fixed reflection. I hope in the future you can specify your own ambience. The fun gets in when you pop into the preferences and you start playing with options. First though, let me start up Emacs. Classic text editing, right? I never used this really to begin with, so it's me discovering this. There are a lot of things I wanted to get into. I wanted to get into CompuServe, Prodigy, to play with those comparison online services back in the day, but I did not. So let me just hit escape that, and whoops, didn't want to buffer that. There, that's quicker. I just hit escape X very quickly at the same time, and then I'm going to hit done it, which is a text game. When I was not previously familiar with, again, discovery of something that's been laying fallow there in the earth. So as I understand it, it is a text adventure akin to Infocom. You can notice here the ambience. You can make the reflection. It looks like is it a plane outside a office of some sort? A school lab? I don't know quite. I haven't heard the bell yet. But you can change among the themes. Now this is where it gets really fun. Whoa. Gets smaller. Well, you'll be able to see it. I'll resize it after we get back to what I like. I'm particularly fond of Amber. So you have all these different little modes. And one thing I love about ScreenFlow, which I'm using to capture this, is it has a great frame rate. That reminds me of an Apple II, doesn't it? Palm. Some of the names are evocative of things of that nature. Even have a pink one, or rather. And the monitor here, let me resize that again. You can go, I actually have it a little bit more recent, but I grew up. See, the curved stuff like that really reminds me of some of the sci-fi movies. And I imagine this would find great practical usage in a sci-fi music video, perhaps. And you can control the various parameters. So the one I like, of course, is 1991. If we were to play with curvature, you can see, because it renders live smooth with the OpenGL graphics to accomplish this. Ooh, that's pretty funny. See what each one of these does. You can really make it. And the funny thing too, you can really make it distorted. As I was saying, distress. Need to buy the full version to get those. It compels me. But the interesting thing is, it uses these distress effects, I believe, to cripple the visual display to make it look more artifacted if you keep using it when it's in unlicensed mode like this after you haven't purchased it. And I'm not sure, I don't know yet if I would have a practical usage for buying it, but to look at it and to share with you, and maybe you discover, oh, this is something that will add fun to your text editing days. So you can notice the ghosting artifacts when you... Actually, before I go east, let's get shovel. Let's take this. And I like to show my face so that you can see sometimes my perplexed reactions, just capturing it east and west. I'll just close this, all right, so you can get the full glory of the screen. Can we get the boulder? No, it's too big. Use shovel. I don't know what kind of a text parser, how advanced this. Use shovel on boulder. Use shovel. Dig boulder. Dig shovel. Okay, so let's go to the west. Dead end. It's just a dead end like that. Oh, see, now it's getting... I think it's getting more distorted. Let's give it some time. It just makes me so excited to see this earlier era recreated. I was frustrated this morning. I actually, in an old emulated Windows XP, virtualized technically, I loaded up the AOL 4 client. I tried to connect, but it wouldn't let me. But it was nice to see those familiar graphics, sort of familiar, as I had grown up on the Mac, not the PC, the Windows version. Get a palm. And I often do searches like that. I look for things that I didn't quite have an opportunity to discover when I was younger, because in the midst of all this, I am... Ooh, there we go. So let's watch these effects intensify. We'll show you this. I did see some nice videos on YouTube. Some gracious people uploaded their screen captures, and I love seeing that. I love when people take the time to do something like that. Oh, my eyes, they're gonna boggle. Okay, I just want to look again. Just, I'm so distracted. Oh, sorry, I was distracted. Oh, southeast. Get food. Look at food. Can I check my inventory? What happens when we eat the meat? Will we die? I don't know what that is. Well, eat food. It's something that I often try. Kill me. Oh, you can't kill yourself. Sometimes that is a funny thing to do. Oh my gosh. Attack bear. Fight bear. Hug bear. Talk to bear. Growl. And I played NetHack. I've seen some videos of people doing dungeon crawl sort of thing. I like that too. I used to play that on old family members' actual IBM, not a clone. It's funny that doesn't carry much dignity nowadays. The clones have all taken over. Oh wow, we're seeing the intensity. I see more static already. And bear. Help. Is there a help file? Okay. Whoa, nice. That is really trippy. See, so you could use this in a computer hacking sequence in your next indie masterpiece. It's always lit. Okay, so we don't have to restore the lamp with torches and things like that. I'll just leave that as is and continue to talk to you for the duration of this video. These kind of things I really thrive on, being in touch with my youth, and at my blog at yes.torley.com, I have begun using the nostalgia tag as I find things to loop back. And I don't strive to recreate everything as I remember it, but from some gaps in my memory lends itself well to the creation of an alternate universe, where I take the relics, these oral sonic musical artifacts out of, and bring them back in. And I have been greatly treasured lately working and playing on a new album called Glitch Piano. So look for that soon. It touches on my youth playing classical piano and fuses that with glitch and other sorts of electronics. I explore a whole variety of styles because that is what I do. I explore. I wonder. There is a thing I believe if you move the window around, it can flicker. I don't know if you noticed that making much of a difference at this point, but it's continually degrading and it's not graceful at all. Earlier today, I saw the pictures of some old computer labs that had been abandoned, and 10 years ago, I believe, candy-colored iMacs that had once been treasured were in rather worm-like configurations, bundled in big bags and discarded and all cracked up. And to think those bulky CRTs, to compare them to the current form factor. Of course, I do enjoy the color, and the color has made its way very much into accessories, such as the new iPad 2 cases, fascinatingly enough. But the iMac itself is not as colorful as it once was, without add-ons. So my brother, he did have an iMac. He had a graphite one, 400 megahertz. I believe that was a G3. Was it 400? I don't quite remember that. But my first Macintosh was a Quadra 660 AV, which had speech recognition. And my friends didn't believe it at the time. They did not believe a computer you could actually issue commands, and it was kind of wonky. It wasn't practical in everyday use. Oh, there we go. Let's get some fierce distortion. It was a party trick, but I liked it. It was fun. I had the little robot guy speaking. So when I go about the web, and I was going to browse, but I don't want to interrupt this. I just want to let you savor the glory of this just blowing, imploding, exploding in all directions. Self-destructing. So when I go on the web, I like looking at these archives that people have of all these old pictures. I go on Flickr, I look on Google Images, I search for all sorts of keywords. I have lists of things that I didn't realize when I was younger, like the pronunciation of H.R. Giger. Every kid knows that. And seeing some of that frightening art in some magazines and not knowing who made it, but tracing it back to the source. There are some old games which I'm still looking for. One from my elementary school days, which had to do with a math maze, but I don't think that was the name, because when I look for the math maze game that turns up in results by DesignSoft, that's not the one. I'm so excited about tonight's Fringe episode, and I realized that I have not made a YouTube video on my channel lately. This is because in the monastery, I need my robes. I'm focusing on the creativity, and much is going on. So please, if you were wondering, I'm all right. And do pardon me. I do apologize for not cloning myself earlier. This has been a long time hope and dream. I believe even Anton LaVey said something about having artificial assistance for slavery. I'm totally recreating or misquoting that. Oh, goodness gracious. It's just cracking up. Let's play with this with some of the other colors here. Some of the other themes, so we can see what it's like to destroy these others, but retain most of the amber austerity. Well, that's interestingly enough. I brought it back, but it's gonna freak out again. Yeah, there we go. Freaking at full force. Man. That's gorgeous. Takes quite a while. So let's just leave it on this one. And again, as it shatters. I don't know how bad it's going to get. It'd be hilarious if you have your own error and you can't turn it back on. But right now, it's the visual. I'm very, very attracted to that. Oh, wow. Very attracted. I watched the Elstree video from the Buggles. Someone had uploaded onto YouTube complete with a VHS pitch shift, so it warbled, and you had some of the statics and things like that. And I wish there was an easier way right now to connect a VHS deck. I know they have USB ones. Not sure I want to go through those hoops, but I want to treat audio in that way. I do with speakerphone, of course, but to treat audio and the video and to put it through, as I've been seeing some of these YouTube videos, such as one where they did The Legend of Zelda. It's quite cheeky in 80s form, like those early teen movies. And then I saw a modern, contemporary indie movie trailer take on the Ferris Bueller's Day Out and Star Fox, the fantastic Mr. Star Fox. These are wonderful, wonderful things, which I watch with Brother Zephos, and we pontificate on the nature of what is being created and shared throughout cyberspace. But anyway, this will not go forever, and I think you have had a good glimpse of how this is not graceful distortion, but it is beautiful. Beautiful obsolescence. Thank you for joining me.